everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be an important one, and at the same time it's also going to be a very raw, real video for myself. Currently in the UK it is Mental Health Awareness Week. Mental health is something that so many people have dealt with and experienced in their day-to-day life, whether that be directly from themselves or family members, friends. I did have a video like this on my channel already and it received the most views out of all of my videos on my channel. However, it was half an hour long, so I have taken it down from my channel because half an hour is a very long time for someone to stay involved and focused with a video, and I thought I'd make a new one. Now's the perfect time with it being Mental Health Awareness Week, and I thought I'd make it shorter, more concise and easier to watch, I suppose. Firstly, I just want to say, by me making this video, I'm not trying to claim that I know everything about mental health, because that's not true at all. I'm not a mental health professional, and even if this video only helps one person, then I'm glad I'll have posted it anyway. I'm going to give you a little bit of background information. I had my first panic attack when I think I was 16 years old, and I was in a restaurant with my boyfriend, and I had this fear around eating in public and having people watch me eating, and I put a mouthful of food in and I couldn't swallow it. I then thought I was going to be sick, which is a massive phobia of mine. I ran outside and I had my first ever panic attack. It was the scariest experience of my life. Lewis handled it so well, but he was so scared in the moment because he'd never experienced that either. And that was my first ever experience with a panic attack. If you don't know, I'm very close to my family, and when I came to uni, I think the separation from my parents especially was a little bit tough on me. I tried so hard to pretend that I was okay and that it wasn't affecting me, that I think in the long run it affected me more because I didn't just speak about it and let people know that I was feeling homesick and a little bit isolated and lost whilst at university. Throughout that whole year, I just did everything and anything I could to try and make myself better, feel better mentally, physically. And then by the middle of 2018, I started seeking professional help, and that's when I basically changed my life around, because if I didn't do that, who knows, I could potentially still be a very anxious wreck right now. So here are 15 things that I personally did to better my life and help me overcome my anxiety. Number 1. The first thing I did to start helping myself was writing things down. Getting it from my head onto a piece of paper really helped me rationalize things, because often when I kept it in my head, I'd start to overthink. I would build up scenarios that were very, very unlikely to happen. Even though it was just the paper I had shared this feeling with, it was still out of my head. And when I'd write these things down on the piece of paper, I would write what was worrying me or concerning me, and then I would write the worst possible outcome of it and the best possible outcome of it. Having the positives and the best outcomes of the situation down on a piece of paper allowed me to see that everything's not so bad, and even if the best outcome doesn't happen, it's not the worst outcome. So it really helped me writing things down on a piece of paper. Number 2 is things like law of attraction, manifestation, affirmations. Those are a massive helper to me, and there's still things that I do now in my day-to-day life. The law of attraction is things that you attract to you what you put out. So if I'm going out into the world and spreading positivity, spreading love, that's what's going to be attracted back to me. It's the same with affirmations. I'd wake up one morning, and if I was feeling slightly under the weather, I would wake up and tell myself what I'm grateful for and all the great things I do have in my life, and my whole mental perception just changed. You really do start to attract what you give out, and I promise you, you'll see the benefits of it. Number 3 is meditation / yoga, both absolutely incredible for your mental health. Sometimes when I was going through really bad phases of anxiety, I was never grounded. Everything was up in the air, everything was crazy, everything was going at 500 miles an hour. And by meditating, it allowed me to bring myself back. It allowed me to ground myself and breathe. Personally for me, I was meditating more so in the evenings before bed because it allowed me to calm down, otherwise I wouldn't have such a good sleep. goes hand in hand with the affirmations and manifestations and stuff like that. If you are considering trying one of the things I mentioned today, I definitely do recommend introducing meditation into your day-to-day life. The yoga side of it, again, is very similar to meditation. It really grounds you, it slows you down. We live in such a fast-paced world. Everything goes so quickly that whilst you're doing yoga, you just get the opportunity to breathe and take it back 5 paces. I feel like yoga and meditation work perfectly together. And even if you don't do them every day, like I said, start slowly introducing them into your routine and you should slowly see benefits from it. Number 4 is exercise. Exercise is literally scientifically proven to help your mental health. Introducing exercise into your routine, you'll be getting all those happy hormones that you wouldn't if you weren't doing the exercise. And this doesn't have to be hardcore exercise, going down to the gym or anything like that. It can be literally going outside for some fresh air and going on a walk. Yoga's considered exercise, so even if you only do yoga, that's going to be releasing hormones into your body that are going to make you feel so good. Whilst bettering your mental health, you'll be bettering your physical health too, so it's a win-win. Number 5 is surround yourself with good people. And this is something that in my first year of uni, I would have never agreed with or understood until I did it myself. If you take a look at my friends, you'll see that every single one of them brings some sort of positivity and benefit to my life. Surround yourself by people that are going to make you feel better. On the days you're down, they'll pick you up. They'll never make you prove yourself to them. They'll just love you for who you are, and it will make such a change to your day-to-day life. Number 6 is talk to people / get professional help if you really feel like you need to. So talking to people, I know firsthand, can be so difficult. It is such a struggle sometimes to open up to people because there's always that fear that you don't know if they're going to understand how you're feeling. It is the stereotypical, a problem shared is a problem halved. Once you start to get it out of your system, the same as taking it from there and writing on a piece of paper, once you have it out of your head and shared it with someone else, it's just a release. And that also, to be honest, helps you narrow down the people that are actually there for your best interest. Because let's be honest, if you start talking to people who you think are your friends and they're not supportive and helpful when you talk to them about your mental health, they're not your friends. Number 7 is be present. Think 5 minutes, not 5 years. This is something that I was so bad at. I would constantly think 5 million hours ahead of where I was in the moment. I was never present. Things I started to do when I felt like I was going way too fast and way too ahead, I would bring myself right back into the very second I was in by looking at my senses. So what could I smell? What could I touch? What could I hear? What could I see? And what could I taste? They sound really simple, and obviously senses are something you teach 5-year-olds. You might be like, why is she talking about senses? But it just brings you back to the very present and moment you're in. Again, if there's things that you are worried about that could happen in a month or 2 months' time, write them down, put them in a box and push them away. And then when the time comes that those things are starting to become more of the present rather than the future, open the box, take it out and deal with it there and then. Number 8 is have a clean space. I understand that mental health can really affect your motivation and your energy and stuff, but I promise you, having a clean space more often than not equals clean mind. And you don't want a cluttered mind, and I'm sure you don't want a cluttered room either. Even if this starts off being little changes to your day-to-day life, when you wake up in the morning, just make your bed. If you've got glasses on your bedside table, take them to the sink. Even if you don't wash them there and then, just take them to the sink and they're out of your room. Eventually you'll start to see that the cleaner your space, the cleaner your mind, and it subconsciously makes you more of a productive person, which actually does help your mental state. Number 9 is downtime. Downtime is so important because you need time for yourself. You're constantly either at university, working, seeing friends, seeing family, whatever you may do on a day-to-day basis, it's not usually ever for yourself. So it's so important to take time for yourself and look after yourself the way you would look after your friends. This can be simple things like having a bubble bath in the evening, wearing a face mask, painting your nails, little things just for yourself. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. Once you start to make more time for yourself, you'll start to thrive. It's like looking after a plant. The more you water it, the healthier it's gonna get. Number 10 is general lifestyle, so sleep, diet, etc. These things are so important, not even for your mental health, for your physical health too, and mental and physical health tie in together so well. Now don't get me wrong, I love a good takeaway and I indulge in things that aren't the best for my body, but it's all about finding that balance. If you're constantly eating things that make your body feel gross, they're gonna more than likely make your brain feel gross. This goes for sleeping as well. Your body needs to rest. Your mind needs to rest. You need that time every day to rejuvenate and refresh your body for your next day. There's incredible Spotify playlists that help with sleeping if you struggle. There's several apps that can help you track how much water you're drinking and can send you reminders so that you're constantly aware that you're drinking enough water and eating your fruit and stuff like that. Number 11 is actually to use social media to your advantage and use it resourcefully. Social media can be such a toxic environment if you're not using it correctly. Unfollow the people that make you feel bad or worse, or people that you compare yourself to, whatever the situation may be. If it's negative, remove them. There are so many incredible Instagram pages that I follow that are all about mental well-being and mindfulness and stuff like that, and seeing that on my everyday scroll page, it's such a great thing to see, and it allows me to thrive within social media and not see it as a negative. Number 12 is kind of the opposite of that, and that's take a break from social media. If it is really making you feel bad, delete the apps off your phone and take some time away from social media. Social media isn't the be all or end all. It doesn't make you cool. Take some time away from it and see what it does for you. If it makes you feel better, then that's showing you that perhaps social media isn't the best thing for you to be having in your everyday life. Number 13 is to find distractions. Having a way to distract yourself when you really aren't mentally feeling good. It allows you to stop thinking about the way you're feeling, and it takes you away from that emotion. Things I like to do when I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed and a bit mentally bad, I will read, I will go in my recipe book and make a new dinner that I've not made before. There's literally an endless list of things that you can do, and even better if the distractions are a hobby of yours. If you are good at art or knitting, sewing for example, use those things to distract yourself. Any distraction is usually a welcome distraction if it's a distraction to get you away from how you're feeling. Number 14 is give to others. I remember a time I was in Costa and I was buying myself a cup of tea and Lewis a coffee, and this woman came up to me and she was like, "Let me pay for that." And I was just so taken away by her generosity, and I was like, "No, it's okay, I can pay for our Costa." And she was like, no, pay it forward. And I did. I went into Sainsbury's and I bought a meal deal for a homeless man that I saw, and I gave him a meal deal, and he was so grateful for it. And the gratitude he showed, it made me feel so warm. It's a feeling I can't get from other things like watching Netflix or having a bath. It's a feeling that it's so hard to explain, but when you do feel it, you'll want to continue feeling that way, and you'll continue giving to others, and it makes them feel good. Number 15 is to start finding a routine. This can be really hard at first because you really do have to train your body to settle into that routine. I suggest starting with bedtime and the time you wake up. For example, I go to bed every single night at 10:30, and I will always set my alarm for 8 o'clock. Even if I have nothing to do that day, it will be set by 8 o'clock. It doesn't allow me to fall into the negative routine that my mind sometimes wants me to. These routines obviously don't just have to be based around bedtime and the time you wake up. It can be making sure you eat at a similar time every single day, bathing or showering at the same time every day. Little things you can do just to bring a little bit of routine into your life. It will bring some normality into your life. On the crazy days where your head's going crazy, you can control your routine and have some sense of control over yourself. So those are just 15 things that I did to overcome anxiety. I hope at least one of those 15 things helps you and that you can introduce it into your life and see the positives that it brings to you. And in light of Mental Health Awareness Week, always check up on your friends, always check in with yourself. Just remember, you are never alone. People are always going to be there for you. Just find the right people that will be there for you. And mental health is something that should be spoken about. It's not something that should be shunned or looked on like a disease or something. It is perfectly okay to not be okay. And never put this external pressure on yourself that it's not okay to feel the way you are feeling, because your feelings are valid. And like I mentioned in the beginning, these are things that worked for me and helped me on my journey to growth. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and find some sort of benefit from it. And thank you so much for the continuous growth of subscribers I've had recently. I really appreciate it. And if you found this video somewhat useful, please give it a like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!